The story that shook the international community began in 1994 when a team of underwater researchers led by Captain Martin Reinhardt was conducting routine dives off the eastern coast of the United States. Their sonar unexpectedly revealed a large anomaly at a depth of 78 meters. To verify the signal, two highly experienced shipwreck hunters, Eric Dalton and Stephen Marlowe, were brought in. They descended into the cold darkness of the Atlantic and discovered on the seabed a warship of Nazi Germany from the time of the Second World War. Its presence off the American coast completely contradicted all official records. Later studies showed that it was not a standard supply vessel or a conventional submarine, but an experimental Kriegsmarine unit built in Hamburg in 1942 and equipped with a reinforced hull and equipment whose purpose was known only to the High Command. When divers managed to enter the torpedo compartment that same year, they expected to see standard ammunition, but instead, they found dozens of rare wartime motorcycles. These motorcycles were carefully secured inside the compartment and covered with antennas, cables, and metal plates, indicating their unconventional purpose. The surprise grew when outside, along the hull, the divers found even more of the same motorcycles lying on the sandy seabed. The dives continued, but they proved to be deadly. 4 divers died during the research. However, the artifacts they found, including a knife engraved with the name of Commander Friedrich Lorenz, parts with serial codes, and fragments of secret systems, made it possible to establish that this was indeed the submarine corresponding to the lost boat U-869. According to the documents, it was supposed to have perished off the coast of Spain, almost 4,700 kilometers from the discovery site. This discrepancy raised many questions. Why did it perish without firing a single torpedo? A decisive breakthrough in understanding the submarine's mission occurred when researchers discovered Lorenz's personal diary. It contained a short but significant entry. "We are transporting something that can change the course of the entire world's history." This phrase forced specialists to reconsider their understanding of the ship's purpose and mission. After decoding the diary, it became clear that the primary mission of submarine U-977 was far from standard. The crew, consisting of 59 men, received a special assignment, officially concealed under the guise of hunting Allied convoys. In reality, the boat carried a secret cargo under the codename WWII. These turned out to be the unusual motorcycles found in the holds and near the hull. Despite their appearance, they were not vehicles. These devices were next-generation radio engineering systems designed for deep interference with enemy communications. The technology allowed interception of radio transmissions at distances of up to 1,200 kilometers, the creation of false commands, imitating Allied orders, and the jamming of escort ship signals. These motorcycles were part of a unified reconnaissance and disinformation system capable of completely disrupting the control of major naval operations. On board the submarine was also the theoretical physicist Dr. Adam Weiler, one of the main developers of the project. His presence confirmed the exceptional importance of the mission. Many documents remained classified for decades, and only in 2027 did an international group of researchers, having gained access to the archives and applied quantum neural algorithms, manage to restore a significant portion of the lost information. This data showed that U-977 was the central element of the top-secret Operation Steinfali, which was intended to be Germany's final attempt to change the course of the war. The operation envisioned the creation of a network of 9 ships, each carrying VE Gerät Model 9 systems. These devices were integrated into a single system and allowed the coordination of German submarine attacks with unprecedented accuracy. The essence of the operation was to intercept Allied communications, replace commands, disorient convoys, and carry out targeted attacks on the most important transport routes. Submarine U-977 served as the flagship node, coordinating the entire process. It was meant to be the command center of the entire system. Successful completion of the mission could have inflicted losses on the Allies that naval warfare had never seen before. But the events of the 20th of January 1945 disrupted all plans. American anti-submarine forces unexpectedly detected the submarine off the coast of the United States and launched an attack using depth charges. Commander Lorenz faced a terrible choice: either attempt to save the crew and risk allowing the secret equipment to fall into enemy hands, or destroy everything, including his own vessel. Lorenz understood that if the VE Gerät Model 9 systems were captured, the Allies would not only uncover the intent of the operation, but also obtain technologies capable of shifting the balance of power. After the first depth charge explosions, the submarine sustained severe damage, and the commander sent his final radiogram. Discovered. Cargo in danger. Activating final protocol. This short phrase signified the decision to self-destruct. Lorenz ordered the devices to be detonated directly in the torpedo compartment to prevent the enemy from gaining access to the technology. The force of the explosion was so great that the hull of the submarine was literally torn into 2 parts. All 59 crew members perished in the cold waters of the Atlantic. Their deaths effectively halted Operation Steinfali, because without the central node, the remaining ships lost the ability to receive coordinating signals and operated blindly. As a result, the Allies lost less than 6% of transports, whereas German command had expected to destroy more than 70. The collapse in operational effectiveness played an important role in the war ending within the expected time frame. Decades later, scientists conducted a series of computer simulations based on declassified data. These calculations showed that if Operation Steinfali had been fully executed and the Averted Model 9 devices had functioned as planned, the war could have been prolonged by at least 11 months. During this period, Germany would have had time to complete the development of its own atomic weapon. By the end of 1945, according to the models, the Third Reich could have possessed 2 or 3 nuclear warheads. And even more dangerously, they would have had means to deliver these warheads to their targets. Analysts are convinced that in such a situation, Hitler, finding himself in a hopeless position, would have ordered strikes on the largest Allied cities, including London, Moscow, and Chicago. This would have led to the first nuclear war as early as 1946. The consequences of such a development would have been catastrophic, as Europe and a significant part of the United States could have turned into zones of radioactive contamination, unfit for life, for many decades. This is why the sacrifice of the crew of U-977 is considered one of the key moments that prevented a global apocalypse. After analyzing the recovered documents, it became clear that some of the sailors seemed to sense their fate. The radio operator, Erich Hartmann, left a note about strange signals that he described as an echo from the future. The young sailor Paul Ritter, who was 19 years old, wrote that he had dreamed they would perish in 10 days, but would be remembered in 80 years. The story of submarine U-977 became an important lesson for all humanity and influenced the understanding of the dangers advanced technologies may carry. When all mission details were reconstructed and confirmed by archival data, the global community concluded that such developments require strict oversight and risk assessment. Thus, the international pact known as Protocol U-977 was created. It establishes mandatory rules for countries and scientific organizations developing new technologies. The main principle of the document is that any research capable of posing a global threat must be immediately halted until its consequences are fully analyzed. This protocol became an important step in forming the modern global security system. The story of the submarine also influences approaches to developments in artificial intelligence, quantum systems, electronic warfare, and other fields. Experts believe that thanks to the tragedy of U-977, humanity understood that progress can be dangerous if not accompanied by responsibility. The impact of this story is felt even today. Military analysts studying the strategy of past conflicts emphasize that the Averted Model 9 devices were at least 2 decades ahead of their time. Their ability to intercept signals, replace commands, and disrupt communications could have completely altered the course of naval operations. Despite the threat, these technologies became the basis for further research in electronic intelligence after the war. At the same time, scientists constantly stress the importance of considering past lessons so that such developments do not become the cause of a new global tragedy.
The 59 crew members of submarine U-869 became a symbol of the choice between creation and destruction.
They did not know that their final action would save millions of lives in the future. But their decision to destroy the secret cargo and prevent it from falling into enemy hands stopped a chain of events that could have led to nuclear war and the destruction of continents. Many years later, this story continues to remind us that humanity is always standing at the edge. Every new technology can become either a tool of progress or a cause of disaster, and only responsibility, awareness, and the willingness to stop at the right moment can preserve peace. The story of submarine U-869 is not just a tale of a sunken vessel. It is a warning left to us by the past. It urges us to think about the decisions we make today and where they may lead. The memory of the fallen crew lives on as a reminder that one choice can change the fate of the entire world.